Any kind of physical find from the past has the potential to become an incredible archaeological discovery. It doesn't have to be large or beautiful. Even the smallest, roughest artifact can reveal something new about the people and places that came before us. Let's put that idea to the test with this video. And trust me, once you see them, you'll realize history doesn't whisper, it shouts. Number 15. The Thessaloniki Gladiator Funerary Relief. This rare and vividly painted gladiator relief from the 2nd century CE now resides in the Archaeological Museum of Thessaloniki. Its origin had been a mystery until recent archival research traced it to a discovery near Thessaloniki's eastern wall. The key was a serial number linking it to records at the Museum of Byzantine Culture. The relief depicts a gladiator named Secundus, holding a short sword and a rectangular curved shield. His heavy helmet rests on a stand beside him. What makes this piece exceptional is the surviving polychrome paint, giving us a rare glimpse into the color and detail of ancient combat imagery. This funerary monument was likely commissioned to honor Secundus after his death in the arena, where duels and animal battles were staged as public spectacles funded by the wealthy. Now part of the New Acquisitions and New Approaches exhibition, this artifact preserves more than just the likeness of a fighter. It captures the brutal, theatrical world of Roman gladiators in full painted detail. Number 14. Tanagra figurines. Art lovers often look to ancient Greece for grandeur, but the Tanagra figurines offer something far more personal. Named after the Boeotian town of Tanagra, these terracotta sculptures were produced across several Greek cities from the late 4th century BCE. Usually standing between 4 and 8 inches tall, the figures were shaped with molds, coated in white slip, and sometimes finished with naturalistic paints. The Lady in Blue at the Louvre remains one of the most famous examples. These figurines depicted everyday people, women in draped clothing, children, and even comedic characters. Most were used as grave goods, not religious icons, and were placed in tombs as representations of life rather than offerings for the afterlife. Found during the 1860s, many were stolen or faked as collector demand exploded. But real Tanagra pieces became icons of elegance, even appearing in works by Oscar Wilde. They weren't just trinkets, they were snapshots of people, frozen in clay, and still speaking volumes centuries later. Number 13. Poverty Point Mud Balls. Let's talk about a strange find from North America. In 2020, a cluster of decorated clay balls was found in Louisiana at the Poverty Point World Heritage Site, about 200 miles north of the state capital. Believed to be around 3,100 years old, these unusual artifacts are sculpted from mud and then hardened by fire, a preservation method so effective that the pieces have outlived the culture that created them. Each artifact carries carved designs, though there's no clear pattern across them. Some show spiderweb-like markings, others depict suns, and one even resembles an owl. A few look oddly similar to modern dice. Historians believe this region once hosted the largest Native American settlement in North America during that time. Yet despite that scale, no one truly knows why these little fire-baked oddities were made. They're small, crude, and mysterious, but in archaeology, those are often the most compelling pieces of the puzzle. Number 12. Emperor Qianlong's vase found at a charity shop. Several years ago in England, a buyer purchased a small decorative vase from a local charity shop for just £1. It looked modest, hand-painted, and flattened at the back. But when he listed it on eBay in 2019, the listing was swamped with offers, prompting him to seek expert advice. That's when the truth came out. The item was an extremely rare 18th century Chinese vase, made specifically for Emperor Qianlong of the Qing dynasty. The signature yellow glaze was reserved for imperial use, and the vase bore markings identifying the emperor's household. Its flat back indicated it had once been mounted on a palace wall. How it ended up in the UK is unclear, but many suspect it was taken during periods of upheaval, possibly looted and sold across continents. Its true value was estimated at £80,000, roughly $110,000, far beyond its original asking price. The vase was later sold through a professional auction house, where it finally received the treatment and recognition it had long been denied. Number 11. Ice Age Tools of Kent. In Kent, researchers have found one of the country's most impressive Ice Age tool collections. Among over 800 stone tools were two massive hand axes, each more than 300,000 years old. One measures an imposing 12 inches long. These oversized tools, likely used for butchering large animals, point to the survival strategies of Neanderthals or other early human species who lived in Britain during the Lower Paleolithic period. The excavation site also revealed a Roman cemetery dated between the 1st and 4th centuries CE, where 25 individuals were buried, some alongside personal belongings. The find occurred during archaeological work at the future site of Maritime Academy School in Finsbury. This single location preserves both ancient Ice Age landscapes and Roman-era traditions, connecting distant chapters of human history. The craftsmanship behind those hand axes shows remarkable precision and strength. These tools weren't just practical, they were engineered by necessity, forged by survival. Their survival gives us a tangible connection to early humans who once roamed prehistoric Britain. Number 10. Ancient Aurignacian carving in France. In 2012, archaeologists excavating the Aubry-Blanchard rock shelter in France uncovered a limestone carving of an aurochs, an extinct species of wild cattle that once roamed Eurasia. The carving is dated to roughly 38,000 years ago, making it one of the earliest known examples of prehistoric art. What makes it so striking is that aurochs weren't native to the region at the time. Inhabitants primarily hunted reindeer. Yet the depiction is accurate and stylistically in line with similar carvings found across Germany and other parts of Europe. This suggests not only cultural exchange between early human groups, but also an awareness of animals that existed far beyond their immediate environment. Either they migrated, or they shared stories and imagery across vast distances. Alongside other Mesolithic finds in the area, this carving points to an early form of visual storytelling that transcended region and species. It stands as a rare surviving clue to the way prehistoric people observed, remembered, and represented the world around them. Number 9. The Athenian Curse Jar. In 2021, archaeologists working beneath an ancient commercial building in Athens' Agora made a chilling find, a 2,300-year-old curse jar. Sealed inside were the bones of a dismembered chicken, placed there deliberately to invoke a specific kind of harm. The curse was designed to paralyze 55 individuals. Alongside the bones was a single gold coin, likely offered as payment to the gods or spirits involved in carrying out the curse. The inscriptions on the jar's outer surface were written by two distinct hands, indicating a shared vendetta or collaboration. The buried location suggests the curse targeted craftsmen or merchants working in the building. Trials in ancient Greece were public and often high-stakes affairs, so historians suspect the curse may have been tied to legal proceedings. Whether those cursed were plaintiffs, defendants, or witnesses remains unclear. Regardless, this jar offers a rare glimpse into the darker personal side of ancient Greek society, where desperation and ritual intersected in secret corners beneath the city. Number 8. Flying Horse of Gansu. The Flying Horse of Gansu, also called the Galloping Horse Treading on a Flying Swallow, is a celebrated bronze sculpture housed in the Gansu Provincial Museum in Lanzhou, China. Chinese archaeologists estimate its age at approximately 1,800 years. It was discovered in 1969 near Wuwei, within the tomb of General Zhang from the Han Dynasty. The horse appears airborne, with 3 hooves lifted and the 4th delicately balanced on the back of a flying swallow. The symbolism behind the pose is still debated. Some believe it represents spiritual transcendence. Others see it as a metaphor for power and elegance. Since it was found in a high-ranking official's tomb, it likely held ceremonial or symbolic importance. Though the original can no longer leave China due to its designation as a Grade 1 national treasure, a flawless replica was gifted to the city of Lexington, Kentucky, by the city of Xi'an as a diplomatic gesture. Even in reproduction, it remains one of China's most iconic and enigmatic artworks. Number 7. Canaanite Goddess Head. In 2022, a Palestinian farmer working his land in the Gaza Strip stumbled upon a remarkable piece of ancient heritage, a 4,500-year-old carved statue head believed to represent Anat, the Canaanite goddess of beauty, love, and war. Found near Khan Yunis in the south of the territory, the statue is impressively well preserved, particularly given the region's turbulent history. The artifact was cleaned and sent to Qasr al-Basha, one of Gaza's few functioning museums, for display and study. Many have noted the striking symbolism of a war goddess resurfacing in a region still marked by modern conflict, yet this discovery is a reminder that Gaza's history reaches far beyond current politics, stretching deep into the ancient world. Surviving artifacts from this region are rare due to looting, environmental damage, and war, making this statue even more significant. It's a fragile but powerful link to the Canaanite civilization that once thrived here, echoing a time when mythology, culture, and daily life were deeply intertwined. Number 6. Elephant armor. Let's talk about elephant armor, not armor made from elephant bones, but armor made for elephants. In ancient warfare, elephants weren't just used for intimidation, they were strategic weapons. Armoring them became essential once armies realized they couldn't risk losing such enormous assets. One of the earliest recorded examples of this tactic comes from the time of Alexander the Great, whose troops fled in terror when Darius III's army deployed elephants in what's now northern Iraq. It would take another 100 years for counter tactics to evolve, and by then, armor for elephants had become standard in warfare. India led the way, designing armor that was both functional and visually striking. Protection was focused on vulnerable spots like the legs and trunk. Finally, the arrival of gunpowder and cannons made elephants obsolete in battle, but surviving pieces of their armor, often found in Indian and British museums, still offer a rare look at how these animals were outfitted for war, ornamented, imposing, and vital on ancient battlefields. Number 5. The Pazyryk carpet. The Pazyryk carpet, crafted over 2,600 years ago by the Scythian nomads of Siberia, is considered the oldest surviving carpet on Earth. Despite its age and exposure, its condition remains shockingly good, arguably better than some rugs still found in homes today. This intricately woven artifact was discovered inside a burial mound belonging to a Scythian prince, where it had been used to line the tomb's floor. The design of the carpet closely resembles patterns seen in modern weaving, a testament to the continuity of Central Asian craftsmanship. What helped preserve the piece so well was pure luck. The tomb's roof had collapsed centuries before, allowing freezing temperatures to encase its contents in ice. When Soviet archaeologist Sergei Rudenko found it in 1949, he realized the tomb had been looted long ago, but the icy conditions had turned it into a natural time capsule. Despite being centuries old, the Pazyryk carpet still echoes the artistry, symbolism, and tradition that continue to define textile weaving today. Number 4. 1,500-year-old fork in Israel. In 2022, a public excavation near the ancient village of Chorazin in Israel turned up something rarely seen, an iron fork dating back 1,500 years. It was found along with ornate earrings and personal belongings believed to have belonged to local residents. The fork, simple in form but detailed in decoration, is unusual because such utensils were rarely preserved. While iron knives from the Talmudic period are commonly found, forks are not likely because most eating utensils were made from wood, which doesn't survive the centuries. The fork's intricate craftsmanship suggests it may have been a prized possession, possibly owned by someone of status. It's unclear whether it was part of daily life or used for ceremonial dining, but its rarity speaks volumes. Alongside the fork, archaeologists also recovered pottery shards, glassware, animal bones, and an earring adorned with medallion-like chains. These objects offer a brief but meaningful look into everyday life and the personal tastes of people living in this corner of Israel centuries ago. Number 3. The Helgo Buddha. In 1954, Swedish archaeologists excavating the island of Helgö made an unexpected discovery, a small bronze statue of the Buddha crafted between the 6th and 7th centuries. This artifact, now known as the Helgö Buddha, was likely made in northern India or Afghanistan and somehow made its way over 4,000 miles to Viking-era Sweden. At the time, researchers were baffled. Most finds at Helgö were consistent with Norse tools and trade items, not sacred figures from Buddhist traditions. But today, the statue stands as powerful evidence of early global trade routes connecting the East with the distant North. While Vikings are often portrayed strictly as warriors and raiders, discoveries like this underscore their role as skilled navigators and merchants. The Buddha was likely brought back through complex networks that spanned the Middle East, the Silk Road, and eventually Northern Europe. Despite its small size, the statue carries huge implications, reminding us that cultural contact didn't begin in the modern age. Number 2. Bronze Age board game in Oman. In January 2022, archaeologists working in the northern Hajar Mountains of Oman uncovered a 4,000-year-old stone artifact that turned out to be an ancient board game. The site, a Bronze Age settlement, is in one of the country's least studied regions. The slab features etched playing fields and cup-shaped depressions, markings that mirror ancient games previously found in parts of India. It's believed this board game was likely a fireside pastime played using small objects like shells, bones, or sticks. At the time, owning such a game could have been a symbol of social standing. There's even speculation that it may have served spiritual or ritual purposes rather than just entertainment. Its layout somewhat resembles that of Chaturanga, a game that would eventually evolve into modern chess. While the exact rules remain unknown, its presence gives rare insight into how ancient people spent their leisure time. It's also a subtle reminder that strategy, competition, and maybe even a bit of family drama have always had a place in human life. Number 1. Lavish 5th century grave unearthed in Bohemia. In early 2021, archaeologists in Bohemia uncovered a richly furnished grave dating back to the 5th century. Though it had been disturbed centuries ago, likely during the chaotic fall of the Roman Empire, one chamber remained untouched. Inside it lay an array of personal items that painted a vivid picture of wealth and status: 4 gold clasps inlaid with gemstones, a gold leaf headdress, glass beads, ceramics, a knife, decorated eggshells, and stacks of fine leather and textiles. The grave belonged to a woman, estimated to have been between 35 and 50 at the time of her death. While another person, a man, was buried nearby, his grave goods were significantly fewer. It's likely she held a position of power within her community. Strangely, the chamber was left undisturbed while others nearby were looted. Maybe the thieves were interrupted, or maybe they overlooked its entrance entirely. Though her identity may never be confirmed, her burial makes it clear she wasn't just respected, she was revered. If you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.